Good morning, Year 4. As you can see, I've got myself on video here. Mr. Bowes has persuaded me to do it just because he does it in his maths lessons. So I hope that's not too much of a shock for you. As you can see, I'm here in the classroom and we're missing you at school and looking forward to everything being back to normal, hopefully very soon. So let's get on with English. Today is Thursday, the 21st of January, 2021. And your LO is to use subheadings to present information. So you need a fresh page in your book and you need to write those down now, please. Just pause the video while you're doing that. Okay, so we have an apostrophe challenge to start with. I want you to tell me, where should the apostrophe go and what sort of apostrophe is it? So it's either going to be a contraction apostrophe or a possessive apostrophe. Contraction is when we're squashing two words together, and a possessive is when we're showing that something belongs to somebody or something. The first sentence is, the cat's going outside. Then, my dog shouldn't eat chocolate. Jimmy's mum said he can watch TV. I haven't got a clue, said Tia. Why aren't you wearing a coat? The school's caretaker is on holiday, and let's get on with English now. So you have 7 sentences. Pause the video, try and think about where the apostrophe should go and what sort of apostrophe it is, and then we'll go through the answers. Okay, so the first one is a contraction apostrophe. It's a contraction of cat is, so the apostrophe should be here. The next one is, my dog shouldn't eat chocolate. Well, shouldn't is a contraction of should not. The O is missing from not, so we put the apostrophe in there. Then we've got Jimmy's mum. Now that's the mum who belongs to Jimmy, so Jimmy's the owner of the mum, so we point to him. That's a possessive apostrophe. Next one, I haven't got a clue. So haven't is a contraction. It's have not, so the missing letter is the O there, so we put the apostrophe there. Why aren't you wearing a coat? So that's a contraction of are not, and again the O is missing from not, so we put the apostrophe there. The school's caretaker is on holiday. Now in this one it's the school who owns the caretaker, so we have to point to school, so the apostrophe goes there. And in the last one it says let's get on with English now. Well, let is a contraction of let us, and so you have to have the apostrophe there. Okay, if you got those right, well done. If not, you can write down the correct versions. Just pause this while you're doing that. Okay, we're going to get on with our main learning objective now, which is to start to use subheadings to sort out information. We already made loads of notes about the story of King Tut and Khamun, and now we're ready to put it together into a sort of biography. So I've got some headings here. Now this one is a title. This one would go at the top of the page, or it'd be the book title. But these other ones are subheadings. Just as a quick warm-up, which ones do you, what order do you think they would go in? Have a quick look. We've got the boy becomes king, the mysterious death, early life as a prince, and King Akhenaten. So which one do you think is number 1, and number 2, number 3, number 4? Have a quick look. Right, so when we're writing most information, we put it into chronological order. We're going to put this into order. So the first one, the first subheading we're going to use would actually be King Akhenaten, because he was King Tutankhamun's father, so he was king first. Okay, so that would be number 1. Then number 2 would be early life as a prince, because he's not King Tutankhamun yet, he's a prince. Then we'd have the boy becomes king, and finally the mysterious death. So those are the subheadings that I want us to use while we're doing this piece of work. So at the end of yesterday's lesson, I think I said that we had 12 or 13 pieces of information written down. Actually, we had more like 20. So here are all my notes written down, starting with stuff about King Akhenaten, going on to the early life of the prince, Tutankhamun, then when he was made king, and finally going down towards his death. So those are the 4 subheadings that I mentioned before. Okay, now it's our job to start using some of the notes. We won't be using all of them, but we're going to use some of them to try and make a biography of Tutankhamun. Right, so I'm going to start with the subheading King Akhenaten. You can see there's a picture of him here. Now this is a carving, an artifact from ancient Egypt, so it may be accurate. He may have looked like this. We obviously don't know for sure. If you wanted to add a little picture of King Akhenaten to your biography, you could do so. You could base it on this carving. So once I've written a subheading, what I need to do is think about writing an introductory sentence. So what do I already know about him? Well, I know that he wasn't a very successful king. If I look back at my notes, I can see that Egypt wasn't doing very well. They were losing money, and that he changed the gods that people worshipped. So that was a big thing. I can also see that he really loved his family, and so that was quite important to him. So I'm going to put together an introductory sentence. So I'm saying King Akhenaten was not a great king for Egypt because the Hittites claimed lots of land and a lot of wealth was lost. However, he loved his family. So your introductory sentence could be something like that. You might want to mention other things about him, like he had lots of wives, or you might want to mention the name of his wife, Queen Nefertiti. This is what I've decided to add in. So you need to put in an introductory sentence. Then underneath that, we're going to have facts. So we have another subheading, which is facts here. Okay, I've underlined it, and I've also used a colon, which shows I'm going to introduce a list of facts. So I'd like to see you using that punctuation as well. And then I've got 3 facts. Now all I've done is copied my notes. So I've said King Akhenaten had 6 daughters with Queen Nefertiti. He was obsessed with the god Aten and made everyone change their name to Aten or Aten at the end. His lesser wife gave birth to a son, Tutankhaten. So it's Aten, isn't it, not Aten? So you can see the end there. Right, so this is the format I want us to follow for each of our subheadings. We put the subheading in, then we have an introductory sentence or 2, then we have another subheading, facts, just facts about King Akhenaten and this, and then I've put just 3 facts in underneath, and I've just used my notes. I've made sure that each one makes sense as a sentence, and I've put in my full stops and capital letters, as well as using bullet points. Okay, so you're going to be setting out your information in the same way about King Akhenaten. So you can pause the video here, you can write your own introduction, you don't have to copy mine, but then you can use the same facts as me underneath. So just pause this while you're doing that. Okay, now we have this subheading, Early Life as a Prince, and this is where we start talking about Tutankhamun and what things were like for him as he was growing up. So I've underlined my subheading, and now I'm going to do the next bit, which hopefully you'll remember is an introductory sentence or 2. So I'm thinking, what do I remember about his life? Well, it was quite luxurious. He had 6 sisters. We can remember things about what he wore. You might have mentioned that. Let's have a look at an introductory sentence we could use. So, Prince Tutankhamun's mother is unknown, but there is evidence that his wet nurse Maya and grandmother Queen Tai were precious to him. So I just got that from my notes. You could use something else. Once you've done your introductory sentence, so this is all one sentence, then you put your other subheading, facts. What have I forgotten to put in? I've forgotten to put in the colon, so I'm going to put that in now. colon is important because it shows that I'm going to make a list. So there it is. I've got the 3 facts. The royal children played together and had exotic pets. Royal life was luxurious. And the prince learned lots, including shooting, riding, reading and writing. You might include other facts, but I only want ones about the early life as a prince. So this is before he became the king. So use your notes. You can copy my note facts here if you want to, but I'd like you to write your own little introductory sentence if possible. Okay, so pause this while you're writing the section about early life as a prince. Okay, so just to finish off, I want you to do some independent work, and I want you to do another section and carry on in the same way for the subheading, The Boy Becomes King. So in this bit, you'll be talking about how this young child became the king of Egypt, about his marriage, maybe about the children that he lost, and maybe about who was making those decisions for him while he was still a child. So I want you to remember these 3 things so that you're successful. So you must do underline your subheading. That's really important to show that it's a subheading and make everything nice and neat. Include an introductory sentence or 2 about Tutankhamun at this age when he became king. So make sure it's not information about later on or earlier on, it's just about this bit when he's about 8 or 9 years old. And then I want you to have a subheading for facts and some bullet point information from your notes. You can just copy your notes and put them underneath. So 3 or 4 bullet points under that. Okay, that's what I'd like you to do today. Try and achieve really nice, neat work with your biography set out so that someone could read it really quickly and find the information really easily. Okay, that should take you about 10 minutes or so using your notes, and you can always go back, rewind this video to find out all the notes that we gathered, and they're all written down on that screen that looks green in the background, so you can do that if you need to. Good luck, and I will show you an example of what you should have achieved tomorrow, so I'll speak to you then. Bye.